All right, so the absolute value of a number written as, and it has the 2 bars, is what? Does anybody remember what it is on a number line?
Zero.
Hmm?
Zero.
It has something to do with 0. 0 can't be negative. It's the distance a number is from 0. It's the distance a number is from 0. Does anybody remember hearing that last year?
Yes.
All right, one person. There we go.
Yes.
Okay, so absolute value turns turns negatives to what? To positives. And positives stay there, right? It doesn't turn a positive to negative, because can distance ever be negative?
No.
Nope. So that's why it's always positive. What do you think an absolute value equation is? An equation with what? Equation with the lines. So an absolute value equation is, it's not a trick question, an equation
I thought it was like this
with absolute value in it. Apparently I can't write today. Alright, so let's think about something. Our example that we have here is the absolute value of x equals 4. So what numbers can we plug in as x to get 4? If we plugged in 1, can we get 4?
4.
We can plug in 4. So the absolute value of 4 is 4. What else could we plug in?
Negative 4.
Negative 4. Because the absolute value of negative 4 is what? 4. So what this is saying, or what absolute value does rather, is it has 2 answers every time. It always has 2 answers. It has a positive side and a negative side. So the answers to this could be x could equal 4 and x could equal negative 4. Now, why do I have 2 answers?
Because the thing always has to.
Because it always has 2 answers, but why?
Because they're absolute value.
necessarily an absolute value of each other.
Kind. Because there's positive and a negative that can give you that answer. If this was 3, say this was the absolute value of x equals 3, what 2 numbers can give me 3? 3 and negative 3. Alright, if it was 45, what 2 numbers can give me 45 and negative 45? If I had the absolute value of x equals negative 7, can that work?
Yes.
Think about what I said.
What'd you say?
The absolute value of x equals negative 7. Can that work? Why?
Yes.
Because it's a negative.
Because it's a negative. An absolute value does what?
Positive.
And it has to be positive because it's distance, right? And can distance ever be negative? Alright, so we are going to graph this example. Now, what are our 2 answers?
Positive and negative.
Positive and negative what?
4.
Okay, so let's put a dot over 4. I'm sorry, a dot over negative 4 and a dot over 4. Now, it's the distance a number is from 0. So let's put a line at 0. What's our distance here? 4 units. And what's our distance over here on the right? 4 units. Are both of those positive?
No.
Is this 4 right here positive? This units.
Yeah.
Is this right here positive?
Yes.
So that's why you can have both answers. Does everybody see? Does anybody not see? Are we ready for our first example?
Yes.
Or do we need another moment? One moment? Okay.
Yes.
It has what?
It has
A variable with a number?
It has another number in here, right?
Yep.
So do you think that's going to change anything?
No. Yes, it will.
Yes, it will. We have an equation now, right?
Yeah.
And what do we do with equations? We solve them. So please open your Flappy. I know. Okay, now what did I say up at the top? We always have how many answers?
Two.
A what and a what?
Positive.
All right, please draw your lines like this. We have a positive side and a negative side. Okay, so what happens is we write x plus 3 equals 7. That's our positive side. It's equal to a positive 7. What do you think our negative side is going to do?
Subtract.
X plus 3 equals negative 7. Awesome. X plus 3 equals negative 7. You do not ever change what's inside the house right here. We only change the answer on our negative side. This stays the same because it's inside the house. Okay? Now, we can solve these. And do you also notice that we dropped the absolute value bars? Please make sure that you drop the absolute value bars. Your paper should look just like mine. All right, now, we can solve these because we have crazy solving equation skills now. How would we get rid of this 3 to move it over here? Subtract 3. And what does x equal? Awesome. All right, now on the right side, how would we get rid of that 3 by the x? Subtract it. Awesome. And what does x equal? I think I heard mumbles of negative 10. Does everybody see how we got that? Anybody confused? All right, so now we have to graph it. You graph it every single time. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn our paper sideways like this so that we can have our number line. Now, on your number line, okay, so on a number line, are your positive numbers on the right of 0 or on the left of 0? On the right of 0. Please make sure you draw it correctly. Put your 0 a little bit more to the right than normal because we have to go all the way to negative 10 on the left. Blessings. Excuse me. Now, where do we put our dots?
Positive 4 and negative 10.
On positive 4 and negative 10. Okay, now, this time, is our answer the distance from 0?
Be the difference. This is from regular stuff. I mean, no, never mind.
You're
Can we
close.
have all sophomores
You're
who
close.
need a picture to make out?
Okay, so let's look up here. We know that it was the same on both sides, right? Are both of these 4?
Yeah.
Is anybody alive? Okay, both of these are 4. So our distance has to be the same. Where do you think the middle is of those two?
Negative 3.
Who votes for negative 3? Who votes for negative 4? Who votes for 0? You can't vote twice.
When you count the number that you start at, too.
Count the number. Well, okay, so you would start here, and you would count 1 unit,
Okay.
2 units, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I landed at negative 3 to get to the middle. And how many units did it take me to get there?
7.
Oh, my ham sandwich. Do we have a 3 and a 7 anywhere in our problem?
Yes.
In our original equation, do we? 3 people say yes, so the rest of you are where?
No way.
They've disappeared. We have a class of 3.
Yeah.
So, this number right here, this number is always the shift. That's always your middle. And it's always the opposite of whatever this sign is. So if it was a positive 4, where would our middle be? If it was a positive 7, where would our middle be? If it was a net minus 4, where would our middle be? At positive 4. And this number is always, always, always the distance. So, are there any questions on the graphic?
Well, that's like it.
Yep, that's it. That's all you do. Is there any questions on solving?
That's all.
Can you try one without me? Can you use your example to maybe possibly try? How about that? Okay, let's use our example to maybe possibly try. All right, so your next example, we're going to call it 1B on the back of your paper. And since we're on the back, what's our page number called?
10A.
The front is 10A, so what's the back?
10B.
All right. Let's go crazy.
Oh my gosh.
All right, this is your next example. Try it without me. All right, so everybody should have 2 sides, a positive and a negative. Do we change the sign inside the house?
No.
No, it stays the same every time. What sign do we change? On the 8. So we get x minus 5 equals 8 and x minus 5 equals negative 8. All right, it's a minus, so we add 5 to both sides. And 8 equals 13. Now over here, it's a minus, so we still add 5 to both sides. And what's negative 8 plus 5? Negative 3. Awesome. Okay, we draw our number line. All right, so we're going to put a dot at negative 3 and at 13. All right, where's the middle? Where did it shift to?
5.
To positive 5. Why did it shift to positive 5?
It was 7 units.
8 units.
8 units.
But why did it shift to positive 5? Because of what? Aviance? Because that's in the middle, and it's also this number right here, right? So this number is always the middle. Write that. This number is always the middle. Ma'am?
That's how you know it's correct.
Yes, that's how you know it's correct. And it's always the opposite of this sign. This number, what is this number right here that I circled in green? The units, the distance, right? All right, so it's 8 units, and if you don't believe me, you can count it, and it's 8 units.
Wait, on number 1, we got 7 units,
Because it was equal to 7.
but on this one,
It's equal to 8.
wait.
All right, so 1C is going to be your homework for this weekend. And I want you to also try number 2.